Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. This video is also coming out after the 2-3 weeks I think because due to the COVID situation in my society, there is some cases, but it's almost 2 to 3 weeks of quarantine period, so we passed that, and after that I am making this video. So in between this and also before the making of the straight pipe exhaust, the car was facing the misfiring issue. In today's video I am going to diagnose the misfire in the car, why it is happening, and also trying to fix it. Misfire itself what says what is happening, that if the engine misses the fire, then it is called misfire. In this thing, the engine ideal very rough, and also the pickup of the engine is not as good as it should be. The pickup also dropped, and also power is dropped, and it's much more fuel than usually it does. So I'll show you how misfire looks like. Let's just start the car and I'll show you how the misfire, how it happens. The RPM is dropped. The car is in cold temperature. So now I'm smelling the fuel. That is the first thing which you should notice. If the car is running very rich, then you should smell the fuel from the exhaust gases. This should not be happening. There is some fuel smell is there in the exhaust gas, but I am smelling too much from right now. I am just sitting inside the car and the door is open. Then also I am smelling. I am getting the smell of the fuel, and you can hear the car is little bit wobbling. You hear that it just gets little bit soft on the start. As I gave the very small acceleration, you see that it gets little bit soft, and then it takes the. Let me show you from the engine bay. So this is a throttle body. So the misfire is not too bad, but I don't want to run my car this much rough. I don't like that. So that's why I am changing the spark plugs, because I know the spark plugs has not been changed from on this car for many years. I don't know when it was last changed. So I am thinking this would be a good chance to change the spark plug and also give you the knowledge about the spark plugs. So let's start. So first thing, you have to remove the spark plug coil. This is the coils. In modern cars you have the coil pack, which is whole this system is built in a small electric pack. I will put the photo here if I find. Then remove all this. Now we need a 16mm deep socket or the spark plug socket which we use. So we need a wrench, one extension to reach out the spark plug inside, and we need a spark plug socket, as you can see. The one thing I want to say is that do not change this spark plug when the engine is hot, because most of the engine right now made from aluminum, and spark plugs are torqued at a good amount of torque. So you need a very good force to untie them. So you should not do that in the engine which is at the operating temperature. So let the engine cool down. As also I run the engine right now, it is little bit hot, but it is not that much hot on operating temperature. So I am going to change it, but you should check the temperature first. So the spark plugs are inside there, as you can see, that shiny metal in each of the hole. So I removed the spark plug before also. I checked them. They are little bit black shade. I show you when we remove it. So I am facing one issue is this these coil packs have this rubber boot which just removed by like that if we just say apply some force. Now this rubber boot gets stuck inside this spark plug. So this is not going to come out. I'm trying. Let's see, but this is a very bad designing of the car. I am trying to remove it with this flathead screwdriver, but it's still not going to come out. So we removed this. This is a boot stuck inside. What I did is I just took the flathead driver. There is a space in between the ring, as you can see. I just keep it like that and then drag it upward like this. So if you stuck with that, don't worry, it will come out. Just need to think logically. Everything can be solved on this car. This car really has some very bad designs somewhere. I am also struggling with that. So two spark plug is loose. Let's loose the other two. Then we will just change them. I will show what things you need to check while changing the spark plugs, and also what tools you need. So these are the 4 spark plugs, 1, 2, 3 and 4. They are very worn out, not too much, but the tips are very corroded, as you can see. And this is a very good layer of coal on it. Just nothing little worn out. There is no sign of oil or water on it. If there is any signs of oil and water, then you can check the condition. Now I also want to give one advice on this is spark plugs, when you remove that, it can show you how the engine working or any problem is there in the engine. So I will link one video down in the description which will guide you on how different kind of spark plugs says about the engine of different engines and their problems. Now this spark plug is totally fine. They are dry and just nothing happens. They are normal but worn out, and that's why the misfire is happen. I don't know properly very perfectly that misfire is happening before this spark plug. It can be happening due to the fuel injector also, because if the fuel doesn't go inside the combustion chamber, then also the fire misses. This also can be the case, but right now I am considering the spark plug is bad and it's not changed for a very long time. That's why I am changing it right now. So these are the NGKs, spark plug BK R5E11 series. What spark plug do you need for your engine is clearly written in the owner's manual or the service manual of the car. So I have this car is very old and I don't have the service manual, but I found a PDF on Google, so I download it and I just find that this uses this NGK's BK5E11. There is another parameter we should consider is a gap between the electrode and the spark plug electrode. That is the very small gap between that, you can see. This should be as per the OEM spec. You cannot change that because if do, then the spark plug will not work properly and it will skip the spark. So for this car the gap should be 0.7 to 0.8 mm. So you need a filler gauge to measure that. I will show the photo here anywhere on the screen what is filler gauge look like and how the how it is shown in the user manual or owner manual, that the gap should be X or Y amount. So every car has a different gap size and different spark plugs. So first look into the owner's manual and then go out for buying of the spark plugs. You can also get different types of spark plugs for the same car, but it can be iridium and platinum and etc. They just change this ground electrode, that small part, this one. Normal spark plug comes with a copper electrode, but that iridium and platinum comes with a iridium or platinum electrode, so they produce a spark better and more powerful, and thus the ignition will occur more properly. That's why these are the things you should consider. And for this thing, I will not going to reinstall it inside the coil. It just provides some insulation to spark plug and the coil, so it do not transfer the spark to the side, to the engine or anywhere other than the spark plugs. But not recommended, because it can jump the spark to the body instead of a spark plug from the coil, and that also happens to be misfire. So let's see if this happen, then I will just buy this part and install it in all the on the coils, and then it will be the fine. So let's install the spark plugs back. So these are the new spark plug. As you can see, they are very clean and new, and the electrode is also very shiny. Whenever you buy the new spark, just ask that guy from where you bought it. He will also tell you if you need it to be gapped, to be checked, because some manufacturer like NGK, so they are producing the spark plug without considering the car for which they are producing. So when you buy it, you have to get it gapped. If means this car needs a 0.7 to 0.8 mm, the spark plug will be at some 1 mm or 2 mm gap. Then you need to adjust this electrode downward to the 0.7 to 0.8 mm, and then you can use it. So you need a filler gauge. I confirmed with the guy where I bought it. This is already gapped. This is 0.7 to 0.8 mm, and I can install it directly inside the car. So you just first take the spark plug dual and then just install the plug inside it like this, and then you can just drop inside the car. So when you are tightening the spark plugs, then don't tighten too much. It will destroy the threads inside the engine, and it will be a bigger problem. So just tighten it as much as you can do. If the spark plug is loose, then engine will not going to do the compression, and you will get to know that the spark plug is loose. So just tighten it as much as you can, and then start the engine. And if you find anything like that, the engine is not compressing, or the engine is blowing out very much fuel outside, then it may be a spark plug that is not properly. So that's it. Now I'm just tied the all 4 spark plugs, and we will start the engine and see how it's run right now. Now the old spark plugs I had packed in the same box. Now this old spark plug will be my backup if something happens and I found out that spark plug is going bad. Then I will just change the one, and it will be back again. These spark plugs are not bad as much as I thought, but it is in good shape. So like I just put back everything again and start the engine. So everything is back, buttoned up. So let's go inside the car and let's start the engine. So now the engine is running very good. that the soft part at the starting of the RPM is gone. Engine is now very fine, and the engine is also running very ideal, not rich and not too lean. So that's it. Thanks for watching till here. So I said that you should have to check the gap and it should be matched with the service manual of the car. But I want to add that is in the service manual of this car, the spark plugs are BKR6E something, and that spark plug have the gap of 0.7 to 0.8 mm. But I bought an 6 BKR5E11 spark plug, and these have the gap of 1.1 mm. So the gap depends on the spark plug which you bought. So there is a different model of each spark plug. Now the spark plug which is mentioned in the service manual is not longer available in India right now. So the alternative is these ones. And why these are alternative? Because they have the same thread diameter and the thread length. If there is any difference in these two parameters, that is thread diameter and the thread length, then the spark plug is going to hit on the pistons of the engine and it will damage your engine. So you should first check these two parameters first if you bought any other than the service manual recommended spark plug. If you bought the same one, then there is no issue. If you bought any other or there is not availability of the spark plug that mentioned in the service manual, then you should check first and then only install in the car. And I said about the gap, that the gap must be same. I am taking my words back and saying that the gap is depend on the spark plug itself. It's not depend on the car. And the which spark plug you should install in the car is dependent on the thread diameter and the thread length. So you check this both parameter. So that's only I want to say. Thanks for watching till here, and like the video and share with your friends. Thank you.